Welcome to Speak Sex. I am your host, Eurydice, and today we're going to do a Wild Sex Stories episode with a friend, an anonymous friend, who is known around town for his sexcapades, right?
Amongst friends. I would know better. Right?
Yeah. And also, I was actually thinking, what this episode is about, and this is like my positive spin to it. My title for it, I want it to be, if you love somebody, set them free. Right?
Wow.
Oh,
so like the freedom of sex is not about, it's about like loving and including and just kind of like, being alive in an active way. So that's where we're coming from.
Well, I like that. And it's true. It is hard to be completely honest about everything, especially when you're a little freaky.
Right.
And I think people are generally freakier than they even know.
Mm-hmm. Or they're honest about.
Right. Or they're honest about,
right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sure. So, for me, I'd rather not show my face. Not that people wouldn't recognize me from this little bit, because if you know me, you're going to look
those
at me
who
like,
know you will recognize you, but those who don't won't,
those
and
who
that's
don't,
that. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's the patriarchy. I'm cool with your anonymity because, we're trying to change the metrics, right? The existing matrix. So until we do, if we need to be anonymous, so be it,
Yeah.
To speak truth.
Sure.
If that's what it takes to speak truth.
Yeah. So
we've been talking, texting. I mean, I heard about you from people. So I'm ready to go with your highlights. Your wildest adventures. But if you need an entrance, like an intro story,
it's okay.
We could say that, you came to Miami and you got work in the nightlife of Miami, right? Super young. As a club promoter. Whoa. So part of the, or whatever it is, part of the job definition.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with
anything. Having access to a lot of
women.
Yeah, young women who just are ready to party.
I didn't meet women like that.
Oh, okay.
Not through nightlife.
Okay, you met them through day life.
Yeah. I mean, I sought out girls I like, usually not at night. That was just work. But
okay,
for me, that's how I've always identified as a dom. And for those who don't know, dom is short for dominant. So many people have submissive fantasies. I think most people are submissive, if not completely, then the majority. Even very dominant people are usually at a submissive side too. And I think there's a few who are in need of so much control that they can't give it up. Sometimes those people make the best doms or the scariest. So for me...
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to interject here and say, I think that the reason most people are submissives, or at least begin, power exchange as submissives, is because it's easier to kind of not be responsible,
Sure.
It's easier, because we've been raised to think all of this is scary or bad or dark. So if you're going to start, you feel like, okay, I'm just going to kind of let go. And someone else is in charge and I'll experience it, but I'm not doing it, I'm not initiating it. So it's easier to enter it from that space.
It's easier to follow instructions than to write the manual.
Right.
Yeah.
And you feel like it's not on you.
Right. But also everyone
But then as you get more comfortable, then you can kind of experiment parts and roll and switch. Yeah. If you get more comfortable.
I don't think most people are meant to be doms. I don't think a lot of people have... the power, the energy to take control, necessarily be aggressive, especially women in general are not used to being that aggressive. It's kind of a more male thing.
Interesting. Well, and I'm going to say that it's interesting that women will do it for money on a transactional basis, but fewer women will do it because that's their pleasure.
Right. Well, I mean, anywhere where there's $1 to be made, people will go.
Will go. Yeah.
This is.
But like when you go, like, this is my thing, and that's how I like my life.
But a lot of guys do it because we are power and ego driven. So to have power, especially in the bedroom, is a nice play for men. It's you know, it's a turn on. It's like an ego stroke. You know, and like I said, men generally have more aggression, more controlling nature, or like ego driven, whereas women are a little bit more emotionally intelligent and less aggressive, less testosterone.
Oh, for sure.
Testosterone.
Yeah, hormonally.
You know, hormonally, we're built different.
Less testosterone.
You know, we're ready, always aggression.
Yeah, it's like testosterone versus estrogen.
I'm such a peaceful guy. Yeah. You know, it's really funny that I would be so aggressive in bed because, like, I am a very calm guy. Yeah. But I do it because I like to please. You know,
and also that's your pleasure.
It is my pleasure. I like pleasing. So, you know, if being aggressive, you know, if being controlling or degrading or, you know, abusive, whatever it is that they might like, and everyone's kind of into different angles, I do it to please them. So, you know, at the end of the day, they're really in control. And then there's the other kind of dom that does it because they're like, I want to push your limits, see you uncomfortable, see you in pain, and very sadistic, I want to hurt you kind of vibe. And that's what people are scared of, and they should be. That's, you know, if somebody is in total control of you and they're doing things too far and that you don't like, that's rape. So
yeah, well, that's why actually
comes in.
I feel that that's where we learned verbal consent from. We learned consent as well as like most of the sex language that I'm talking about, and I'm trying to spread into like the heterodominant, you know, population, into basic education. But a lot of that language was first conceived in power exchange because it was so important to clarify like the terms of what was about to happen, so no one felt abused, right?
Sure.
So that's where we began kind of coming up with words. Right. You know, that explained sexual act or like sexual beginning, sexual end, you know, sexual aftercare, sexual initiation, all of that stuff, you know, as well as like safe words. And then incorporating that into the heteronormative makes the heteronormative much more pleasant because people can begin to like express what they like in the kind of like, you know, everyday sex that we had no words for. That was just like done in the mute, in the dark.
But I also think we see too much. You know, remember I talked about, you know, on the phone with you when I said that I think porn really messes people up now. And nobody loves porn more than me. I've been an extra in porn. A lot of my friends make porn, are in it. And
so how does it mess people?
I think it messes a lot of, I think especially men too. You get the wrong expectation of what sex really is. And like what being dominant means. You know, they skip all of the foreplay and warm up and less pretty side of things and just assume that every, you know, girl who's submissive needs the crap kicked out of her or, you know, a bunch of guys or some crazy fantasy that you have or you see. And then sometimes, you know, in a moment you might think, oh, I like to watch this, so this is what I actually like. You might be very wrong. There's something watching something versus doing something can be very different experiences.
All right, we miss the lead up. We miss like the warm up,
the real,
including the conversation.
Yeah,
exactly. Like the speaking about it. We never get them sitting down saying, you know, I like this. What do you? Would you be willing?
And imagine
have you tried?
You're inexperienced. You're trying to do extreme things. Really hurt somebody, make them uncomfortable. Can make you believe things that you're not really as into as you thought. So,
like what?
I don't know. I mean, you know, like I had one girl told me that, you know, she had met a dom and, you know, he like brought all these guys over and she got a gangbang and she always thought that would be a great idea because she'd see it in porn. She said it was the worst thing she ever went through.
Yeah, of course.
That's fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
Of course you're not ready for that shit. You know, who are you?
I don't know who is ready for that shit in real life. I'm
some
sorry.
Some people are. I know some girls who do that stuff in porn. And
well, that's different. As you said,
they're confident. They're used to it.
Yes, but as you said, in porn, there is the money, which is different. And you give yourself that explanation.
Right.
I'm getting paid. This is a job. But I mean, I don't know any woman who, like, for her own true, like, pleasure or intimate
stuff like that
would take like so much. Yeah. Because
no, and I think it's not spoken of as much when it is done. I think it's so taboo that people keep those secrets to themselves and they do it in total privacy. But
I would not be convinced. I'm not convinced.
I'm not
that
convinced
someone
a lot of
does
people
it.
Do shit like that either.
Yeah, a lot of people people may like not know themselves or kind of get stuck in a narrative that started early on when they were young and they can come out of it and evolve or all kinds of your brain fucks with you all the time. But there are
those who are ready for extreme sex and those who are not.
Yeah.
So
well, it depends what extreme sex is.
Well, like in my experience, like when I was hanging around, some of my friends makes a lot of porn. But they're angels the way they treat people, and everything is done super professional. And they have some girls come around that they filmed who are crazy experienced, well known, some of the most famous porn stars in the world, and they have tons of amateurs. And you see all kinds of little things go wrong with the amateurs, but the girls who are and the amateurs usually don't last. I mean, most porn stars don't last more than 3 months. Because they think, oh, I'm going to get famous really fast, and so it's that draw to fame. That, it's the money is one thing. There's many ways for them to make money with their bodies. They like porn because the fact that they could maybe get famous.
But what do you think that...
But imagine they start with boy, girl, girl, and then once those amateur films have all shot you, it's only extremities and fetishes and things like that. And that's where I think after 3 months, they're like, I got to do what to make money now? And then those who are really naturally kinky and confident and able to handle that, those are the girls that last.
Right. So what makes someone last? Like, what's the difference? I mean, it's a mental discipline,
you have to be very flexible, like sexually, and very comfortable. I think the ones that last and some of them know where the limits are. A lot of girls, they're consistent with it, and they just never move past boy, girl, girl. Like, that's what I do. But usually the ones that get really famous is for doing extreme scenes. You look at, Sasha Grey and Gina Valentino and Abella Danger and.
But what does it take? Do you think? I mean, I think that it takes
two
kind
dicks
of
in the ass.
No, but I think it takes.
People love watching that. They do. It takes real
Yeah.
confidence and like the sexual power and experience to be like, I can handle this. I can enjoy it. You know, they can thrive with it, and it comes out well on camera because they do.
Well, or you can pretend to enjoy it.
No one likes everything. No one likes everything.
But no one likes everything.
No one likes
for
everything.
Sure. But that's it's acting. But they can take it they can. I feel that like what they do is compartmentalize, which is actually part of like our masculine mind. You know, men are better at compartmentalizing than women who see things kind of more holistically. We call it like take it personally, but it really means like integrating stuff more. So I feel like someone who's successful in porn, even if she's a woman, she goes at it from her masculine side. So she's,
they need a very confident.
Right.
Very confident.
She needs that, like her mind thinks of it as a man's mind, but her body is like the ultimate like girl body, but still the way she interprets what's going on.
You gotta be hardcore. That shit is not for soft people.
No, no.
Soft sexually.
No, you gotta have like all kinds of crazy boundaries.
Side. Yeah. So, I mean, as like feministic and much as I care about women and love to be respectful, I also love finding out where that limit is. And I've always, I think, been more aggressive dom than most I've ever met. And I never like come off first time like
right. So like what's the basic the most common scenario? So like you meet someone or you meet on a dating app or you meet them
however I meet them, like first time we sleep together. I don't want to scare you. We've probably talked about it before we got in bed where I'm like, this is what I do. I like tying up and using toys, showing you new things, whatever. First time, if they're like, yes, beat the crap out of me. Okay, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
sure, maybe I'll give you.
What are the odds of that?
But not very likely. So usually I kind of start slow. Give them a little spanking, choke them a little bit, be aggressive. Maybe like, small ties with, some binds, nothing crazy. And then in time you introduce things, next time maybe tie them up a different way. Use toys, be a little harder, spank a little harder, find out, really how far they can push things. First time you push someone, first time sleeping together, it can be a lot.
Yeah, no. Yeah, right.
Or it can be very fulfilling.
Right.
Certain times I've had experiences where they knew that they wanted a rougher experience.
Yeah, and they had had it before. They'd been exposed to it. So they
haven't. They just, they meet guys who are aggressive. They call themselves doms, but they're just aggressive, to say the most. They don't get the element that's psychological. Being a good dom or dominatrix is knowing how to put someone in their place with your words and your actions. It's totally a mental experience. So just being physically rough.
It's mental. It's about the language for sure.
If you're just physically rough,
it depends how you.
The girl's not a piece of meat. It's not a punching bag. That's when you just smack around and then throw away. And then if you treat a girl like that, so you say things like aftercare and the terms that we made. Those things are all important.
Yeah.
So aftercare, taking care of someone after you've been so rough and degrading is like to make them feel that they're not a piece of meat, that they're loved.
Giving them time.
Yeah.
Holding space.
Yeah.
But I do think that like a lot of it is about the narrative, and it's almost like in a way making a movie or making a play, and directing a scene, and you gotta like give your partner the narrative that you see.
It is very much like a scene,
right?
You are
and
right.
Convince them that that's the narrative, that's the part you each play.
Sure.
And then if they experience it the way you want them to experience it, or that way, it feels a certain way. Whereas, let's say, without the narrative, without the words, if this happened to them when they were drunk, like in a public space or in a bathroom with a stranger, it would be 100%, like going to the police afterward and reporting it. So that's like a huge difference in how how the sub of either gender, experiences and how they feel that they have a say in it.
Well, it's funny, more than just submission. I think there's a lot of like serious subjects that people want to approach that haven't. And it's funny because I love seeing statistics for stuff like this. Like, I think like 80 or 90% of people want to try a threesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a third of people, like a fourth, want to watch their partner have sex with somebody else. I mean, I would assume that's mostly men wanting to see their girls with another girl.
A third,
I'm just assuming. I don't know how many women took that survey, or what. I was very shocked to see that, and I've heard things like that. People liking to see their partners with other people. But I definitely think a lot of people want to try the threesome thing.
Yeah, but but I feel like also people and like BDSM things that they're not,
of course.
that they're not ready for.
Yeah.
Like they'll say, I'm fantasizing about seeing my woman, wife, girlfriend with another guy. And the main reason, like if you think about it, is because, you've been with her so often, you want to make sure that like she's attractive and hot for someone else, because that makes her more hot for you again, right? It
Never
renews
like that.
But then sometimes when it happens, you like feel like, what the fuck? That didn't feel right from the point of view. Like visually it was hot at the moment, but then afterward you just like, it felt a little like like she cheated on me. Yeah.
No, for sure. That's crazy to me. I mean, it's not, but it is. I can't put myself in those shoes and be like, yes, I want to see that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I take that back because I do love seeing girls with other girls, so I guess I do fall in that category.
So how many? Yeah, you told me. I think you told me before you had how many threesomes you had. Like,
I don't know.
You told me a lot, like 50 or something. I thought that's what you said. You said about
no. You asked how many women I'd been with.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
But no, how many threesomes I've had, I don't even know. But a decent amount, often with the same women. Definitely a lot of first timers and introducing them to it. And It's cool. I love watching that. I love seeing girls explore new things. I like being the teacher. I like being the instructor. I teach every girl that's with me. I'm like, this is how you're going to please me. Hold your hands like this. Hold your lips like that. This, because it's how I get what I want. If you don't communicate with your partner,
right,
you'll never truly get what you want.
True. Yeah, true.
And I
true,
think some
true.
girls are freaked out because I'm being too honest with them. Like I told you recently, I met somebody and I was totally open with her. I said, look, I'm a dom. I like to switch sometimes if you're into that. And she's like, what? And the funny thing is she is kind of dominant, but she doesn't, do like the full dominant thing. And she's not into like butt stuff. And I told her I'm into that. And she was instantly like, whoa, are you bi? Because I told her like, look, I like a finger, a toe in the butt, whatever. I'm like, and I like doing it to girls, but also, the other way around is cool. And she's like, what, are you gay? And I'm like, you know what? I was like, this is probably why men don't do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they assume, that's anything, if a girl touches your butt, all of a sudden you're homosexual now. And like, the stigma
and the
against
problem
that.
is, exactly. And the problem is that, we have made sex, first of all, we've made sex part of our identity, which it shouldn't be. Like whether you're bi or gay or straight should have nothing to do with like your identity in the world, like your social identity.
No, that's
and then we've made it, and then we've made it binary. Like it got to a point, like it didn't used to be like that. But in the 20th century, it got to the point where like you had to pick sides, right? So by saying like, oh, I'm gay, done, then, we make it so that the men who identify as clearly straight or whatever, heterodominant in whatever way, cis, masculine, feel uncomfortable saying, I want to be pegged because I happen to have a prostate.
Or they might never want to try it because
every guy has a prostate.
They feel gay about it.
But that's what I'm saying.
They think,
like they are not even going to try it or say it.
For sure.
Because, but the body, like the actual anatomy is built in a way that like, and it kind of...
It feels fucking good.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't care what anybody
something
says.
There.
There is nothing like a finger or a dildo in the ass to make, to make an orgasm crazy for a guy. Like I just never had an orgasm like I have from those few, and it's not something I...
And it's not about you,
weekend
and it's not about your mind. That's what I'm saying. It's like true for every man. Every man has a prostate that's sensitive, the same way that like every woman has a G-spot.
Right.
Not every woman comes with her G-spot. Listen, like until... I think like the 80s. No, when was it? It was like sometime in the 70s or 80s that the clitoris was first identified. So
really? It wasn't identified as a part of the body?
No, like as a sexual organ.
Sexual organ?
That's like a tiny penis, and that should be paid attention to.
Wow.
And that brings orgasm, right? So it's like...
I thought this was like known for hundreds of years.
No. It's like super recent. So I think I really feel it's the same with like men. It's just a matter of time.
For thousands of years they had cars but didn't look under the hood.
That's right. For thousands of years.
Wow.
I mean, it doesn't mean like
Listen,
they didn't
it took me at least
themselves.
10 years of my adult life just to find the clitoris without looking. Sometimes I'm still looking for it,
Yeah.
Oh, we'll scratch a labia once in a while.
Yeah, because they're all different.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It can be hard to find.
Yeah. And but now we know it, and now it's like chill, and it doesn't feel, it feels like all feminine and part of being a woman, and so like all of a sudden, literally in like one generation, like from our dads to us, in one generation, we got to the place where like the guys feel it's hard for them to, turn the girl on and give her a clitoral orgasm.
Wow.
And before they didn't.
Yeah.
So I feel like it could be another generation.
And I never thought of that.
Where the girls...
How selfish the male...
Right. Yeah.
Male expectation must have been for the last centuries of like women are meant to please men.
Yeah.
And they probably never thought of...
And they're meant to get knocked
pleasing women.
Yeah.
Wow.
And until like the pill was invented, again, like in the 60s, the pill became well known in like the mid 60s sometime, 65, I think, something like that.
Sure.
So until then, first of all, like just having sex for fun, like as a laboratory of sex, which is what you do,
Right.
was like super high stakes for the women, because, you could have like one encounter like that and then get knocked up. And, abortion wasn't even legal. So, like, the whole thing, it's only recent that we got to, having sexual conversations and expressions that are informed. And I feel the same is true about the prostate. It's a matter of time.
Very true.
Before like,
it becomes
all
more
guys,
normal.
are like, could you put a strap on?
It will always gross people out, though.
Well, so is the vagina in a sense. I mean, that's a different hole, but basically you pee out of that canal.
Urine,
So, if that's like the issue, then that's the whole point of like Mother Nature. That's why animals like sniff each other's butts, because that's where our strongest like smell and pheromonal like identification exists in that part of the body. We can change it. Like if I give you my hand, your, pheromones are not going to know what is happening in my body. You got to get close to where it's supposed to be happening, to the center of like, sexual exchange and pleasure. And I think we just like taught this stuff. Who the fuck is afraid of? I mean, we eat, we poop, we drink, we pee, and we have sex, and we procreate. That's the stuff that we all have in common with the entire animal kingdom.
Sure.
And if you don't like it and you want to be like only spirit, you're in the wrong species.
But we all feel fear as humans, and I think it's a reasonable fear until you have experienced it, and that's where the disconnect comes, as people experiment with anal stuff with no preparation, and no experience, worst of all. So, like, there's so many women that I'm like, look, you should try butt stuff with me. I am gentle. I use toys. I use lube. I'll give you an enema first and tell you to clean, and I'll hold your hand and walk you through the process. They don't even know there's a process. And they just think, what? Ew. Oh my God, toys? Like, what? Ew. And it's like, look, you give these things a chance, and then it's like you get that look on their face, and they're like, wow, this is rocking my world. Anal stuff is just as good for women. I've, given 1 million anal orgasms without, any vaginal interaction, because that shit's powerful. Mega powerful. But you have to be mentally ready for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with it, you're going to clench your butt like you're shutting the garage.
Yeah, you're gonna hurt.
And you don't just throw a little lube on a penis and try to stick it in there.
No.
I call that parking a fire truck in a doghouse. It doesn't make sense. It's a process.
Because so many people are uncomfortable with sex, or inexperienced, or fearful, or taught to be nervous or whatever, they are self-medicated. They're drunk, they're high. So then, of course, they're less in control of their like
I think
bowels.
A drink or two might be good for anal. It's your first time, you gotta relax.
But that's when you're less in control.
But you might poop if you drank too much.
Exactly. Like if you're sober, believe me, there is zero chance that like you'll confuse the two. It's like women who squirt, which is like the most amazing orgasm, and they're like, wait, did I just pee? And it's like, girl, if you were sober, you would so know the difference. It's a different thing, completely sensational, look, smell, all of it. So, it's the same with like being relaxed and open and trusting, and then you can receive without like feeling that your colon is gonna, I don't know, betray you. Okay, so let's go through one of these initiation scenarios. So you meet a girl and you tell her, I'm into you, I think you're so attractive. And actually, I don't know if you've ever had like...
Oh, I don't say it like that.
Oh, you don't even say you're attractive?
Well, of course I don't. I'm pretty.
Okay.
You can't just come off hard.
I know.
But, later in the night, well, let's say, like a lot of times first date, I end up hooking up. And I think a lot of the times I've been with girls where we both knew we weren't necessarily meant to date each other. But it's like, okay, maybe we can connect there. And when I'm ready to have that conversation, I just tell them directly. I'm like, by the way, it's like, I'll let them know very early on, because you got to know this, or else we're going to be a disconnect if there's no kink there. Tell them, look, I'm a freak. I'm a dom. I will tie you up, smack you around, control you, degrade you. I will spank you probably harder than anyone done in your life. First time we do this, I'm not gonna kill you. I'll probably be really gentle, and I also let them know I have a gentle side. I really do. I'm so gentle, you know. When I'm touching, when you pet the kitty, you know, you don't throw it around. You know, it's not a punching bag. And I also have that aftercare side. I do care, you know, and be gentle and soft. It's a mix of both. And I literally tell them that. I say, you know, you ever done anything like that? Yes, no. You ever been tied up? Ever been controlled? Ever have somebody, you know, stick their dick in the back of your throat until you puke? Oh my God, you did what? Oh, Jesus. And I say, yeah, well, I want to find out what your extremes are. Don't you want to find out? You know? And if they're not into that, if they're not submissive, or if they're not dominant, which I like too, but very rare, that's probably not going to work out.
So
I'm going to get bored.
Sex education, but like
I'm going to scare you too.
On the field.
In the field.
In the front line.
Yes. First date. Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Let me tie you up and hurt you a little.
Let's see what you know.
Yes. But and I definitely love all the times that I help girls explore their sexuality with other girls. And a lot of people have terrible threesome experiences.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way? Like
jealousy, I think jealousy, and also like they choose the wrong partner who's not good in bed, or there's like an imbalance there of who's touching who, or sometimes it's like a couple's privilege thing, you know, where the couples feel like because we're a couple and we're in a relationship, you know, the person we had has to respect this and that and this, and it's like, what about their feelings, you know? And threesomes are often best done with couples who are more considerate of the third person, and I think that it's best done between people who are single or really understand the boundaries. Like, if you understand the etiquette of threesome, it's just like smoking weed. There's an etiquette to it. If y'all spark a joint up and one person takes 20 hits and everyone else takes 2, it's not cool.
Yeah.
You got to be a team player.
Yeah.
Which is why sometimes it is good to have a team leader.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very directional. I tell them everything what to do, you know, and I also understand limits. So like if I'm with a girl that likes me and she's going to be cool enough to be like, hey, let's bring another girl around. I don't want her to touch you. It's going to make me jealous. I'm like, okay. So me and her are going to touch you.
Right.
And I lay these things out beforehand. You know, with the other girl, we all got to have like a talk about this, make sure we're on the same page. Yeah. Like the boundaries. How far are we going to go? And you got to let that girl know, hey, don't touch me because you're going to make her jealous. Then you can't just let those things happen. Yeah. You know, you can't use the threesome as just a chance to fuck another girl in front of your girlfriend. You got to respect why your girlfriend wanted to bring in the girl in the first place. Or you could destroy everything.
Right. Yeah.
In one threesome. Yeah. Or you could have the time of your life.
Oh yeah. So many relationships have been ruined in one threesome. I know.
Not mine.
Yeah, I know.
I've changing lives, but yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too. And I definitely see a lot of threesomes that are just done wrong.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
and I definitely don't think it's something you should require of a person.
I mean, it seems like super simple to me, but yeah, I think it's you know, again, just like we were saying before, you know, earlier, it's easier imagined, like a lot of things, you know, and maybe porn is partly responsible for that because we have a visual of how it would be,
right.
And it's a turn on, and when we think about it, it turns
like
on, and we like masturbate to it, but then when we're in it, you know, we realize like, wait, you know, like my whole body is
like
in
being
this.
with multiple guys.
Yeah.
A lot of girls, it's a fantasy, and then when it happens, they're like, oh, wow, that was too much. Or it was the best night of their life.
Yeah.
And even though I've never been into the tag team, the good old-fashioned Eiffel Tower, a lot of people are. A lot of guys are super into it, and I don't know if it's because they're bi or if it's
they're bi. I think they're mostly
bi, and it's like how they get it out. How they get it out of their system is like in an acceptable way. Let's tag team girls, bro. And when guys say that to me like too much, I'm like,
I don't think it's about being acceptable. I mean, they're really bi. Like they don't want to have a man, like they're not queer, they're not gay, they don't want to move in with a guy. Yeah, but they like couples. So they feel like, they get the best of both worlds.
Without
and they
feeling
really,
like they're gay.
Yeah, and they really like to the ones I know are usually the dominant ones, meaning not the receiving ones, but the giving ones.
Right.
So they would like, to have sex with both. It's not like they're in it to kind of like make out with a girl and then have the guy, fuck them anally or something. No, it's just
like
that they like
still a
to
straight masculine threesome.
It's still like a masculine energy.
But they're getting that. Actually, I don't know, but I was thinking from the girl's perspective, because in society we frown so hard upon girls doing shit like that, and it's so not talked about. Girls don't just be like, I had these guys tag team me last night, and everyone's like, oh, cool. They would ruin their reputation. And the truth is, like, to me, that's sad. The same way it's like sad for pegging and prostate plated to be weird for society.
Oh my God, completely sad.
If that's really what they like, so wrong that they can't just have that.
Yeah.
Without people judging them so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I also think it is something that people don't explore because of society
that's
standards.
why it's safer to do it within a couple or within a relationship.
Yeah.
Because then, both of the partners, but especially the woman who's more repressed, feel that like it's chill. He
might
gave
not be an even easy conversation to tell your boyfriend that you want to try two guys, but it would be an honest one.
Yeah, it would be an honest one.
And maybe you could do it in a safe way.
And listen, if you try two girls and that goes well, it's only fair.
It's only fair.
I think so too. Yeah, you can.
It is only fair. Oh man.
Yeah. And he may find out stuff he doesn't know that he likes. So it's just like kind of like being open.
You never know.
And so long as like it's one at a time, like and you don't come in and saying that's all I like. I feel like it's fine. It's just part of
just
life.
Being honest.
Yeah.
What did you want to call the title of this again? Set them free.
If you love somebody, set them free.
There you go. Let them be them. Let them be them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And not just let them be them.
We make sacrifices.
Help them be them.
Help them be them. But also you have to make sacrifices sometimes. Like for me, I just started seeing this girl I told you. And like we've been talking for a few weeks. We finally hooked up last night. We haven't really done anything. And after having conversations, even in the very beginning, she was definitely thrown off by, my switch side or my experience and
your switch side.
Yeah, like I like butt stuff and all that. She was
that
like,
you like
what?
Receiving as well as giving.
Yeah, she was freaked out. She's like, what? She's like, I'm not gonna do that. And I'm like, look, and it's not on my list of requirements. It wasn't done in any of my other past relationships. It was just a little fun I had here and there, and for a long time. I was very not interested in girls who were not bisexual. It was a way I felt like I could have, I guess, more regular friendships with these women. And like, they wouldn't bore me as easily because I've been doing the dom thing for like a decade. It's the same shit. And so it's more exciting if we, bring girls around together. But then meeting her reminded me, wow, because I always knew I was ready for a relationship or when I like somebody enough. And I'm like, she's all I want. I don't need other women. I don't even think about other women, and I don't feel temptation. And
well, give it time.
Give it time.
I mean, now it's like the honeymoon period.
It's fresh. But like I
would
said,
give it like 3 years.
But when you do want to sleep with someone else, then and you're not going to do it together. That's when it's time to break up.
Yeah, for
if
sure.
you craving other people without your partner, you shouldn't be with them.
No. You gotta be honest. You gotta be honest and avoid the drama. I mean, that's like, I feel like people who are not honest, and there are many reasons people are not honest. Yeah. It's not just that like, I don't want to be judged. It's also like we work together, we have a house together, we have kids together, or our parents or our common friends, or there are all kinds of other reasons, besides like the what's in your partner's mind that keep you from being honest.
Right.
But drama will happen. The drama will happen
Always.
sooner or later, right? And it will hurt more for both, and it's going to bring the whole thing into some sort of chaos,
Yes.
inevitably.
If you want
just
other
don't
people,
fucking start
you
lying.
should be open about it.
Yeah.
I think honesty is always the best policy.
Yeah.
But I think sacrifice is real. Like, of course I love threesomes, but I will give them all up for her, no problem. And if she's enough
for now, we'll have this conversation
we don't know
again.
what she's into, so we'll see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we'll see. Hey,
we'll be back to be continued in like 2 years.
Yeah, no.
Season 4.
No, I'm sure we're going to have a few. That is inevitable.
I'm gonna have you back.
But it'll be a first for her.
Her.
But there will be no touching of the other girl for me. Sometimes that is the best way. All attention for her.
Yeah.
All for her. All
for sure. Yeah, the first time.
But I'm gonna make her get the other girl off too. Yeah. Of course, it's only fair. Come on, you gotta watch your guest. No couples privilege.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Okay, so. How did you find out you were a dom? How did you first
I don't know.
Just porn
I don't know.
No.
I think like young.
You had sex for the first
porn,
time. Okay.
Always being kinky. It's like okay, you go from one day like doing butt stuff to like pulling hair, and then
when you were a virgin and you had sex for the first time, like how quickly did you know?
Did it escalate?
Yeah. Did you escalate?
I think somewhere in college.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think around 18, I started I had a girlfriend when I was like 16. I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So then once I'd gone to college, then I started being single. I had basically only actually had sex with one girl until like I guess the summer before college, I guess making it to college. Yeah, that was the first week of college was when I broke up with her.
Yeah, that's pretty normative. It happens.
Yeah. So I have been with girls before, just not sex. Like I lost my virginity to her at 15, 16, and stayed with her till the end of high school to college.
Mm-hmm.
So being with new women, I think that was where I started to try new things. And I don't know. I remember the first girl that asked me to choke her. And I got scared.
Yeah.
I thought, really?
Yeah.
You're not going to pass out? Because I had never done it before.
Yeah, no, it is scary.
She's like, choke me hard. Harder.
Yeah.
Harder.
Yeah.
Until like her face is turning red. And I'm like, I'm not going to hurt you. I don't want you to die on me. This is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Then I started to realize that like they all like it, and like pulling hair and this and that. I think it was like a slow process of like having rough sex and discovering that this was good and that was good, and doing my homework, like literally researching like, okay, how do you do anal correctly? How do you clean well?
YouTube videos.
Buying toys. Yeah, no, for real though. Like actually doing my homework. Yeah. Like literally doing research, like how to fucking eat pussy, like, doing your homework.
Oh yeah.
You learn some shit.
Definitely. Yeah.
Last night she said to me, she was like, wow, and this felt really good. And I keep hearing her words in my head. She was like, you're everything. You're rough. You're soft. You're communicative. You know what you like. And you're in control. And it's just like, I'm good at pleasing because I did my homework. Of course, practice.
Yeah, and then you did your practice.
Practice makes perfect. And communication's everything. I wouldn't have learned even like most of what I learned if I didn't ask my partners.
You did your residency?
Yeah, if I didn't ask my partners in the past, what feels good to you? What do you like? Where is trying to find that point that turns out. She said no guy has ever made her come without her touching herself. I'm going to knock that door down.
Yeah, of course.
And I almost did last night.
That's an easy door to knock down.
Well, if no guy has ever actually made it come, it's definitely not going to be an easy one. But
I think it's an easy door.
Oh, it is definitely accomplishable for sure.
Yeah, every girl can come
there's a will,
more
there
ways
is a way
than one.
Than they realize, yeah.
It's just that, again, like we get stuck in like whatever coincidentally, happened to us to begin with, which is all like just a matter of coincidences. And then we're like, okay, that's who I am, and that's what I like, because that's familiar, and like the unknown is always kind of a little more scary. So you're like, well, hi, this is what I like, this is what I do, like I make myself come and you do your thing and it's all happy, and it's like, no, you just haven't gone further yet.
Or maybe she never had someone that knew better than her how to please
took
her.
Took the time.
Maybe she didn't know like what it takes to please herself.
Well, it's also sexual laziness, like a lot of people are like, fine, that's like so easy. Yeah, you do it yourself, I'll come and we're done, and that's not bad.
Well, I think for her,
so
it's
there's
hard.
a lot of sexual laziness, So what are some of your favorite toys? I know you brought a bag of...
Well, usually, I have a lot of toys.
What do you call the bag? Put it here.
We'll call it the to-go bag.
Oh, the to-go
bag. Because, I don't like to run back and forth to my closet to the box every time I need a toy. So I just made a little bag, and then I just bring it out of the closet, and then when I need something by the bed, I reach in.
Okay.
So I guess this is what a fairly normal...
to-go bag.
So, the basics for
okay.
stuff.
So gag.
A little ball gag.
Yes, ball gag.
Of course. Oh, this one.
Choker.
This one might be a little. Okay.
Leash. No, it's a choker.
This is a leash. This is a leash.
Yeah, it's a leash, like
I definitely
a dog
like
collar.
to walk like a dog. This is a fun one.
This is a nice one.
I thought you would enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is
it's
an anal hook, but it goes. I attach it to a leash. So it kind of freezes them in place. They can't really move around too much.
Okay, so this part goes where?
That's a leash. It goes around the neck.
Oh, it goes around the neck.
It goes around the neck, and then it's a hook.
Right,
goes
I understand
in the
the hook.
Yeah.
This goes up the butt. And this goes, wow, so this is very short and interesting.
It's short, but it stretches. Your back isn't that long.
It's
it's okay.
It stretches a little bit. So it keeps you in an exposed position.
It keeps you frozen because you can't move, or it's going to come out of your ass, or it's going to hurt. So you really got like frozen, doggy style.
Yeah, I hear you.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's called an anal hook?
It's a hook.
Yeah. Okay. And then here we have, a classic butt plug.
Uh-huh. Always got to have new anal stuff because no girl wants to use on this one. So,
yeah. What else do you have?
Yeah, you got to have a few different size plugs and and I think the standard dildo is super important.
This is the double plug, right?
No. Those are different plugs. There's no doubles in there.
Okay, so just different sizes.
Yeah, different
and
sizes.
Shapes. And then you have one that has a battery.
It does have a battery. I never really put a battery in there because I use these for anal stuff.
Okay.
I think the wand is way better for the clitoris.
Right.
Or the rabbit, which I have one, but I haven't used it before. But this standard dildo, your standard like small, long plastic dildo, it's a killer. You could be fast with it, and they're light, so you can pull it in and out really quick, and it's not too thick.
No, it's not thick at all.
So after a few butt plugs, using something like that to be really fast is like mind-blowingly good.
Yeah.
And it's not painful.
Yeah. Right.
Or half the time you don't even need the plugs, and you could just go straight to something that's that small.
Yeah.
This is the double. This is the rabbit. This is the rabbit, of course. Double. Yeah, this is a really good one. When it gets the clitoris and the G-spot properly.
And this does have a battery, right? It's a vibrating.
Couple ropes. Some carabiners, in case you got tied.
So this goes like this. And this, hold on, couple of ropes. A
couple cuffs in case you can make life easy.
Okay. Ropes, chain, little chain.
I've actually been getting into shibari lately. Ropes. I just haven't had. This is a little cock ring, but I didn't even buy this. Someone gave it to me.
Okay, and tiny little cock ring.
But these are good.
That's it? No, I feel something.
But that's a little to go back. Oh, of course, the wand, the most important thing. The wand.
The one that's in the velvet pouch.
The girl's best friend. When a girl said they'd never had the wand before, I'm like, wow. Welcome to life.
Oh, yeah, the
this
wand.
This is the giver of life.
Yeah. This is amazing.
These are the best. These are the best. Every girl should have one or two.
Yeah. So this is a clit stimulator, just so you know it like really zaps.
The classic is the large Hitachi wand, which is like bigger than a fucking microphone,
right.
and the head is the size of a fist.
Yeah,
a very intimidating, serious machine, and I think that's like way too extreme for 90% of women, and it's crazy that thing is so popular. Yeah, but these smaller handheld rubber or silicone ones, these are great.
Yeah.
And they have like 20 settings, and as you change the settings, it takes them in waves. So it is a beautiful tool.
It's a good basic bag.
Yeah, but I also, you know,
for people to keep, you know, in the closet or whatever, in the trunk.
Yeah. So like I said, I use the bag just to keep the basic toys closer to the bed. You know, or if you ever want to sleep over your girl's house, make life easy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool that you have
you don't
everything
need all
in, like,
your.
Ziploc.
You're not gonna need all your sex toys in one night.
Everything is like Ziplocked and cleaned or new, unopened.
You gotta be sanitary.
So
you get, especially the butt
gives
stuff.
that feeling of,
well, I actually genuinely give a shit about making sure things are sanitary and making sure
that's so
the
important.
girl I'm with doesn't feel like she's using someone else's butt plugs.
Exactly. Or anything. You know.
No, I literally buy completely new toys whenever I'm with a new girl.
Yeah.
Because she deserves.
Well, it feels right.
Own, you know, and not be thinking about what other girls were there.
Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
you're welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah, I think so too. That's I mean, the whole part, you know, it's interesting because, you know, when we think about like sex as a way of like getting to know someone or communicating, it makes it so different. But usually we don't, you know, usually we think of it as like we give up and, you know, we're out of control and we're out of our senses and we're like, you know what I mean?
Funny enough, me being a dom, I tell my subs or whoever I'm with, I say, look, you're really in control here. I might be the one controlling you, but you define where I'm allowed to. You say you don't like something, you don't want something, that's it. I'm here to do this for you, and this is about you. Of course, I get mine too, but.
And do you do it in public? No, just in. Or you have?
I have not, but you know, it's funny. I've thought of it, or I should go to a party or something, you know. Yeah. And do this with a partner and. Yeah. Wear our masks and
it's
enjoy some anonymous
different.
Public fun. What I think would be hot, but I haven't had a partner I wanted to do that with. I haven't had like a steady partner I give a fuck about in a long time until recently.
Well, that's wonderful to hear.
Yes,
that now we have love and intimacy and monogamy and
it
all
replaces
that stuff.
so much other shit. It makes you know feel like you don't need everything.
No, you don't need everything.
You don't need to have every kink of yours fulfilled. When you have someone that just fulfills you sexually and personally, you don't need to be matched on every sexual level. You don't have to be into every single thing the same to have incredible sex. Yeah,
if you have like that emotional and like energy connection, I feel, you know, where you feel like this is me, this is where I belong, this is like home. It's like amazing because it's so rare.
And it's funny because, like I said, she was freaked out by a lot of things, but I'll bet you she'll open her mind very fast. Yeah. People are freaked out until they actually give it a gentle shot and they're like, okay, you know. And I thought the hottest thing about her, you know, is she definitely has a dominant side, which is so uncommon. You know,
in your experience.
Yeah, no, it really is. But it's very sexy. She's just bossy. You know, she's submissive, and then all of a sudden she's in control and she's giving orders, and I'm like, okay, this is really sexy.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah,
I always like the girl that can switch it around. Sometimes
they can switch it, and surprise you.
I like to be in charge until little moments, you know, a little bit is really sexy. And I think if I could give one piece of advice to girls out there that want to be sexy, learn how to switch it up. Learn how to be the dominant one. Men will literally melt in your hands.
Yeah, because
you can make a man do anything anything.
Men love to receive too, but like in the normative society, they just, don't know how, because they're supposed to just like, give, and the girls are supposed to receive. So switching that around is like,
I think we all desire somebody to take control.
Yeah.
So, I find it funny that girls know that they love when men can take control and never think about how sexy it might be for them to take control.
Because that's how we're socially conditioned.
Yeah.
So we gotta, switch that around a little,
But most people people are submissive little bitches.
I don't think so.
Not everyone. For sure. There's a lot of people that cannot take it. You are right.
Yeah.
But I think most sexual people have like a side that definitely wants to be like roughed around or like be controlled.
Yeah, but I don't think it's innate. I don't think it's because that's their nature. I think that's their conditioning. That's what I'm saying. We're conditioned that there is kind of like the phallus or, the taker, and then there is the object. And whether you're gay or straight or a boy or a girl, when you're in the place of the object where you're seen and wanted and then handled, that feels both easy and familiar. Because look at the culture, the models. They are objects, So
Right.
the way the screen that we have, the phone that we have, most of us are constantly like passive. We're passive participants in our sexual exchanges. So it takes like a bigger mental kind of like strength or shift to think of yourself as the doer, as the initiator, as the one who says, let me make a narrative, let me make a story for us.
You have to be more creative to draw the narrative.
Yeah, you have to be more creative.
And thankfully I was more creative and so were you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you must be a wonderful experience to be with. Looking at your art is an experience. Coming into your house is an experience.
Yeah. But that's what it is, It's like just being in your creative energy, and understanding that like that's what sex is. Because
you are right. It is setting a narrative. It's saying I'm going to do this and that, and this is the scene we're going to play out, and whether you've told them it or not, it's there. And you are right. It is totally a narrative.
And taking your time matters.
Taking your time.
Yeah.
Here, give me a mic. Take your fucking time. That's the advice for guys. That's the advice for guys. Take your time and make sure the ladies come first. Ladies should always come first, because once we come, it's game over. Good night. Drop mic.
Yeah. But I'm big, I really believe on like all of that edging, instead of like immediately have the goal and be like, I want to, get
tease
off.
them, make them wait, make them wait.
Yeah.
Start and stop. Edging.
Start and
that
stop.
is something people also don't really know the term. She said to me last night, do you know what edging is? I said, girl, that's what I do. But that's why I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
And for women, a build up is so important. And for men, because we're such like, let's get it out now. When you do edge a guy, it's like such an experience for us.
But basically, it feels better because you sustain that like sexual excitement longer. Like, why would that not be amazing? You stay in a place of like wanting it.
People just can't help it. They get horny and they're like, I want my nut now. Until they've experienced somebody dragging it out and teasing them and taking time.
Yeah, I feel like society is so goal oriented that people get confused and forget that like sex is a break, sex is fun. Sex is not like work where
Speaking
you have
of
to meet a goal.
I think a lot of people can't come because it's like completely in their own. They get stressed out while they're trying to come, and they think so hard about it.
Yeah, they think
they can't do it.
That's the conclusion.
So I'll say I will literally stop and be like, I don't want you to try and come.
Yeah,
I want you to just chill the fuck out.
Yeah, agreed.
Enjoy yourself, and if you don't come, you don't come.
Yeah.
Stop trying. It's like I'm watching you like struggle right now, and this is no longer fun for me.
Yeah.
And then if they actually do stop trying, they always orgasm.
Yeah.
It's like so in your head.
It's a difference between like a quickie and an epic. It's like if people think, okay, beginning, middle, and end, it means like we make out, kiss or something, fondle a little, then we get naked, and then we only get naked so we can both come, or maybe just the guy come, or whatever it is. That's not
just enjoy all the moments.
Yeah, you're missing out on like 90% of what's there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It always drove me
like,
crazy when a girl wanted to go straight to penetration. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like, I don't like this. And I remember a long time ago, was a girl who was so into me, and she just never wanted to do foreplay or any warm up. And I would be like, no. Just no. Like, I don't want a whole workout without any of the fun part.
But also, I think it's because women and men, but women mostly like misunderstand men. They think that's what
so?
men want. They think this is how.
I think that was what she wanted. I made it quite clear what I wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. But most women don't. They think, okay, sex ends with like the guy coming and passing out.
I also wonder, it must be really hard.
Sad.
It must be really hard to be secure as a guy if you have a really little dick.
I don't think so. I think there's
I can't imagine. Like,
really,
I was born lucky.
I don't think so. I don't
thanks,
believe.
Dad.
Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Wait, and mom.
Or mom, who knows?
Yeah, it took two.
But man, it's got to be hard to be like confident with your sexuality, like with everything. A lot of girls say it doesn't matter, but I definitely know some friends who have some really little wieners, and I've definitely heard a lot of stories about girls who were very unhappy from it. So man,
I don't know. I don't think so.
I feel like being a dom for me was because I am such a confident motherfucker.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
As chill as I am,
right.
I have this incredibly aggressive, passionate. When it's something that I'm into, I am like incredibly aggressive. As relaxed and laid back of a stoner or a hippie I am, it's like the second something I care about or I'm into, flip.
Yeah.
But if I had like a 4-inch dick, I don't know if I could come with all that confidence and energy.
Yeah.
Or if I was...
No, I respect that because that's how our society has set it up. So yeah, like, generally, like, look at porn. There's like huge cocks, that I am
Make us all feel inferior.
I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them in real life.
I told the girl I've been seeing, I said, I tell her I have a pretty big dick, but it's no baby's arm, and then she pulled it out last night and said, your dick is huge. I said, really? You think so? But it's probably because I watch porn and see like, fucking monster wieners in there. And it's just porn really fucks up reality for all of us, even me.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, I find something beautiful. I like men who are feminine. I like men who have both masculine and feminine. I find it more interesting and more real, right? Yeah. So, like, to me, the size of the hard-on, in particular, is not as important as what you do with it and your headspace.
If you got a big dick and you can't lick pussy,
yeah, I mean,
you've already shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah. Plus, in some ways, like a really big one, like really big one is insensitive. A lot of those guys, they just like girls. Either they hurt girls or, I mean, I hear from guys that they just don't feel that much,
Oh, because they got too much.
Right. Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff, it's just, we don't like respect difference, we all try to kind of like find what the norm is and squeeze into it as much as possible, to our detriment, instead of like finding the endless variety of ourselves and others and kind of keep exploring it, right? Yeah. So let's go for the differences instead of the similarities between us sexually.
For me, the next step I think for me is shibari. Which is funny because I see so many people so interested in, and I'm like, it's funny that everyone's interested in rope, but meanwhile has never tried anything else.
Yeah, it's very meditative.
On the spectrum of bondage or BDSM, and I think they see the art of it and they're like, ooh.
Oh yeah, visually it's amazing.
Visually it's very appealing.
So photogenic.
It's so photogenic to be totally controlled and held together by pretty ropes.
You cannot take a bad picture.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see bodies that, you may not be attracted to.
That's not true. I took a bad picture.
You didn't?
No, I'm kidding.
I've seen bodies that like naked I'm not that attracted to, and then I see them at the end bound and it's like so extremely gorgeous.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's not as hard as I thought. I thought it would be like very difficult.
Yeah. Nothing is really hard if you take the time to learn it. It takes time. Yeah. You're not like born knowing anything. I tell people, we take like, dummy. I tell my, people like, we take how many years, to first you get your permit, you go, with the driving school instructor, you have to pass a test, all that, to just drive a goddamn automatic car, which is fabricated to be driven. And meanwhile, you think that you can drive like an original human body that is completely like unpredictable, each one, without any like study, just like you go in there and you know what you're doing. No,
well, Shibari
you gotta learn it.
Looks like very intimidating to learn. It looks like it's hard and it's gonna take forever, and it definitely takes a little time. Like I've only tried a few knots, and they definitely took me a minute to get, but not like an hour, 10, 20 minutes. And I think it's something people should try to learn for your partner's sake. Like you learn how to tie your partner up in a really fun way. And everyone wants to be suspended. Even if you don't know. I've always had a swing, which I've only used a few times, and it's very uncomfortable. But I've always managed to use that ceiling hook in interesting ways, but never to fully suspend someone. And I really want to be able to give that experience. But I really think people, especially if you're like a couple, that's an awesome way to spice it up.
Oh my God, yeah.
You learn how to tie each other up. You get like, something that you can hang them from, and then you can just use their body, and they're totally tied up and bound and submissive, and it's photogenic. It makes them feel good.
And sexy.
Everything about rope, as long as you learn how to do it with safely. It's a beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. It brings out the musculature. It creates all kinds of new, physical shapes.
I've been doing my own ties forever. I just, you invent them.
Yeah, you get creative.
It's not
After you know
science.
the basics, you get creative.
I never
with
knew anything.
it.
I never knew shit. I just, wrapped a
and
few
you
here, a
can
few there.
And everybody would be different. Would teach you something different about how you go.
I would make them up.
Yeah,
and then from experience, I learned a few actual, like, okay, this worked. This hurts the wrist. This is, and then, but I think.
But what I like about it also, another part of it that I really, recommend is that it creates stillness within sex,
Right.
So like
somebody completely
cliche,
still instead of moving
the cliche,
everywhere.
Exactly. The cliche notion of sex is like go, rev it up, and let's like crash into orgasm and done. And then like let's go do the dishes. Whatever is next on the agenda. But instead, like it slows it down so much.
And just then that edging process.
And then it like teaches the receiver stillness, like stillness within sex, where you just like breathe and feel what you're feeling. That's where that's what changes it around. That's when you open up.
I love that. I think that's one of the things that I like most about tying and binding is that you're no longer moving everywhere. You are now still. You are my victim, and you will take what I give.
Mercy. Victim is one way of putting it, but
or my baby, or my little girl. Depends who you are, and how you want to be treated. I'm very DDLG, very daddy dom. Always been like that. Always call a little baby and talk like that. I've always identified as the daddy type.
Yeah, I feel like this is the daddy culture for sure.
This daddy culture.
You're in the right moment in the culture.
But yes, I guess. But for me, that's just how I am, because I naturally care, because I feel like that. I don't know. I've always just like assumed that role of like being
caretaker,
the
looking
strong
after,
one, the caretaker, but very genuine.
Yeah. It feels good.
Yeah, and I've always treated my girlfriend like a little baby who I take care of. Inside and out the bedroom.
And that way, like at the end of the sexual experience, you feel good about it, because you feel like you were there with them, in full, instead of just kind of like a usurper. Or,
instead of, smacking them around like a piece of meat.
Exactly.
Like a piece of meat.
Yeah, that can't feel good.
No,
like if you're a full
I like to be
human.
Daddy. Make you feel like you're loved.
Yeah, exactly.
And punished.
Yeah, discipline.
Daddy's got a discipline too.
Yeah. As an educational process, which, like, honestly, we all need sex ed one way or another, wherever we get it.
I think you should never stop learning about sex. People think they're so good in bed.
I know.
Let me tell you, you're probably not.
You're probably not.
You're probably not.
None of us are
as good as we could be.
Yeah, for sure.
And we should never stop trying to learn new things. The more you try to learn, the better you get.
Yeah.
The happier your partner is going to be, the happier you're going to be, the more you're going to learn about yourself and what pleases you.
Yeah.
And you should never stop asking your partner what they like.
and coming up
trying
with
to discover it for them, trying to figure out what makes them tick.
Laboratory,
Yeah,
like a happy.
That's why when my girl told me that nobody had made her come, I said, "Wow, they never cared enough about you to try."
Yeah. Well, you know what? I feel this is a good place to close because
I think so
too. None of us are as good as we could be in bed.
Do your fucking
in
homework.
Sex. Yeah, do your homework.
Google has it all. Practice on your girlfriend, but check out the internet. You're
gonna come back into season 4 to see if you're still with your girl and how it went.
And beggings and,
I want to know this story, how the monogamy story turned out. And the basic thing that we want to share is it's all normal, it's all part of the fun, and it's all part of normal. Freeing yourself up and freeing your partner up. So if you love somebody, set them free. Yeah. Thank you for listening. Thank you for trusting me as your sex whisperer here in the podcast universe. And until we see each other again, speak sex.
One more mic bump.
Death is a visual deceit, like a magic trick. It